Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Homer, and this is my first ever playthrough of The Last Defense Academy. We're on day 72 of the second scenario, and Saray needs to talk to us about some stuff. We need to ask him some questions. I'm like, you know, as you guys know, in the default mood of just like never taking Saray's, crap. Usually, but we're gonna have to see what's happening here, because like right now, this is one of the most like there's somber images all the time in Last Defense Academy. But like, look at this crew here. This is like, compared to what we had before, think of how like less people are here, It's actually like pretty crazy when you think about it. And then everyone is like so down in as you would be. What revelations we've had. Let's start with the basics. Is what Shion remembered about our origins the truth? Yeah. I'm sorry, but yes, it's all true. I was afraid of that. We really are just lab-grown living weapons. And all of our memories are made up, no matter how many times I hear it. It's still so hard to accept. It's a shock, all right. Kind of makes you want to give up on life. So we can't die even if you want to. That's another thing I never even thought about, Even if they wanted to give up on life, which I would never want that for them, by the way. I want to make that perfectly clear. I talked about how, like, on one side they have the Veshness who wants them to keep going. On the other side, you have the Academy that wants them to keep going. But now there's, like, it's separate, like, from below, almost, or above, boxing them in again. When another thing where it's like, actually, even like the other option where it's like, oh, I don't want to go on living. I hate this, which is a horrible thing to even think about. I want to make that clear. They can't do that. It's like no matter what, on all sides, everything's telling them to keep going. I'd like to go through the whole thing from the beginning so we're all clear on the details. Hold on your questions until I'm done, alright? So Ray's story more or less lined up exactly what Shoma told us. We were all clones. It's crazy to even say. Artificial humans created the Kamakura General Hospital. We were made from Shion's DNA, and as such, on a genetic level, we were no different from any other Futurans. So we weren't really human at all, more like artificial Futurans. Among the people in charge of this project, some voiced concerns about how we could prove just as much of a threat to Futuran commanders. That's the concerns you had? So to prevent us from turning on humanity, they decided to brainwash. Like, it's crazy. Like, you have to be just like downright evil to like think like this, right? Through this whole time. And you know what they probably used to justify in their head? For 100%, they probably said like, well, I'm going to live in the end. Look at this. We were given new memories and new identities as Earthlings. Of course, some protested that this was inhumane, of course, as you would, thankfully, but with humanity's future at stake, they were left with little choice. No, there is a choice. There's always a choice. 100%. I don't agree with that idea at all. There is a choice. It may not be a favorable choice for you, but that's just because it's not a favorable choice doesn't mean it's not a choice. I don't agree with that. This resulted in a project being carried out in the utmost secrecy. Like, you had your doubts, but I'm glad there's people that saw it as inhumane. It is inhumane. It's absolutely horrific what they did to these characters that I love, right? But to say like, oh, well, there's no other choice. We have to survive. No, that is the choice. it is. Yeah, it is. And I think, sometimes people equate, oh, there's no choice, but like there's an unfavorable choice. It's an unfavorable choice for yourself. But, that's what it is. We spent our whole lives on the very edge of consciousness, shut in away in our biological cultivation capsules. Inside those pods, we dreamed of our lives as Earthlings, as it dictated by the memories implanted into us. A normal family, foster home, a rich family, a family of assassins. Yes, so many different backstories. Each of us was fed a different backstory, completely distinct from the others. Part of that was to mask our true origins, but it was also to ensure we had a greater variety of viewpoints that could adapt to different situations. Ignorant of the truth, we continue to grow and dream. Oh my god, this moment as well. Looking back on it now, it has such a different meaning now, right? Because it's already like a very terrifying situation waking up here, but now it's like it's sad, When the time came for us to leave, we were launched from the artificial satellite on the surface of Futurum. Then we awoke and began our mission along with Saray, our robotic handler, and Shion, our genetic parent. Shion is our dad. Like, if you think of it that way, our genetic parent is Shion. That's about the size of it. Any questions? The bombs in us, and the fact that we've revived whenever we die. Were they necessary to save humanity as well, to make this mission a success? No. Yeah. The bombs are just a contingency plan in case of emergencies, but the automatic revival was deemed indispensable. No, here's the thing. Sorry, to rephrase it. Yes, if they wanted to carry out their plan, the revival mechanic of bringing people back to life constantly back into this hell is needed. We know this is needed. We've utilized it in the battle ourselves mechanically, right? We know this is needed. It brought back Takumi at one point as well, right? That doesn't make it right, but like in terms of what they want for their plan, it is needed. Most critical globe users can only be harmed with critical globin, but you guys are different. You can take damage from conventional sources too, just like regular humans. Something must have gone wrong when we were making you, sure. But thanks to that, we discovered how properly simulating your cryptoglobin could reverse even fatal damage. That's what led to the invention of the Revive-O-Manic. And that meant you could make us fight over and over again, yet it's endless. It's not endless because obviously there's 100 days, but like it's like this cycle, you know? We really are just weapons to you. Seriously, why'd you have to take it so far? Even I'm surprised this level of selfish cruelty. Is there nothing humanity won't stoop to? And that's the thing, right? Someone said it like as well, like Eito was kind of like, you know, like unintentionally like right about a horrible, like the idea of like how some humans can be, right? He was right about like the, like at least with these Kamakura General Hospital people and the people who organize all this stuff, they are monsters on a level that you could not even imagine. You guys want to smash this guy up again? Kind of. I know that we did this to you was unforgivable, but mankind's future was at stake and we were running out of time. Again, that's not the Futuran's issue. The artificial satellite was a resource were already dangerously low. Pretty soon, as nothing would be a lifeless husk floating through space forevermore. Again, it's horrible. It is horrible that would happen to anyone. I want to make that clear. I always sound like I'm very heartless towards humanity. It's horrible that all those children, all those people, all those people would never, like those families, everyone would never get a life, right? 100%. But it's not. It's like that's still at the same time to try and colonize another planet doesn't make sense. Humanity needs a new home. We had no choice but to entrust that mission to you. But can you say it like what the way he's saying it sugarcoats it still? I feel like humanity needs a home. We have to entrust this mission to you. Like I just don't like the way he sugarcoats it. You know what I mean? Like you have all these characters here who I love dearly, and even Eito, who's a character I wasn't a big fan of, also tortured by you guys, right in front of you. Tell them the freaking truth. Speak in plain terms. What you should say is humanity, yes, they needed a place to go to. We need a new planet. And we entrusted this invasion to you. We entrusted this colonization to you. Huh? Entrust, that makes you sound so noble. Love you. He said just exactly what I said. He said exactly what I just... Well, not exactly, you know what I mean? It makes it sound so sugar-coated. We entrusted it to you. Humanity needs a new home. It's like on a freaking banner or something. Ima's so correct here. So correct. Yeah. Fair point. The important thing is you are just convenient for us. You are essential. Oh my god, like it's like, oh my god, that's like pizza party stuff in a workplace. You still have the potential to be humanity's saviors. We're still pinning all our hopes on you. But please, again, this sugarcoats it. We're saving humanity, but what happens in the process? Enough. I don't want to hear about you and your hopes anymore. I love it. I love it. Oh, sorry, it's voice.
Simulation of their collective will anyway. It's totally meaningless.
Yes, 100%. And someone pointed out in the comment section, the simulation of changes day to day. If you ask me how I feel about a person on Saturday, might be different from how I feel about them a month from now on a Tuesday. People's change all the time. People might think I'm heartless. I don't know. Actually, this apology isn't a simulation.
Take a look at this.
Take a look at this? What?
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It's not fair of us to force you to do this.
What is this? They're actually talking to humanity right now? They're actually able to connect. Wait, how? I thought we couldn't do this.
Sorry, mister.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, little baby. How are they able to do this?
What's going on? Who are these people?
You need to, don't, how all of us, the last thing I expected. I told you before how I've been programmed with the thought of patterns of all mankind so I can make the best choices for humanity. Given everything that's happened, I ran a new... Okay. I ran a new simulation and arrived at a different conclusion from before. Tell the regular citizens of the artificial satellite the truth. So they know now? So they should tell us to stop, right?
Tokyo residential complex. They know everything.
So they're gonna tell us to stop, probably. Jesus Christ, man. So like they all know everything now. How did they take the news?
Why we're fighting this war. What will happen if we lose? Now you are the ones fighting for them.
This is, I feel like I love, by the way, I love that he told them the truth. It's an amazing moment that they're all finally getting to speak to us. We're seeing other people. This is crazy, right? They deserve to know the truth. But there's other stuff I want to talk about this as well.
That includes where you come from and the lives you've been made to live as well. All of humanity knows the truth now.
They're so young. I don't know what to say.
They're babies. There's 2 middle schoolers here.
You probably hate us, and I don't blame you. But you're all we have.
I feel like this is like a really like weird situation. Like it's an incredible moment having all these these faces in front of us, but like it's also very like it's a lot.
Please, I don't care what happens to me. Just save
Oh
my
my
children.
god. This is so much.
They're not much older than me, and they're out there fighting a war.
Yes.
I'm not ready to die. Please, don't give up.
Oh my god, that is brutal. What the hell?
I wish I could be there with you. I want to help too.
No one should be here. This is so brutal because this is generally obviously how people feel. But it's like, how would you not just feel sick listening to
I'm
this?
sorry we have to depend on you, but you're our only hope. If you lose, we're all done for.
This is a horrible situation. This is horrible. I have never felt like this playing a game.
Did we really have to go this far? Maybe it would have been better to let us die out.
That would have been the moral choice.
I can't do anything from up here, but I'll still be cheering for you.
Oh Lord. This is out of all the things that this game has done and that Saray has done, this is an amazing moment to finally see all these humanity's faces, to connect with humanity, to know they found out the truth, right? It's incredible. It's an incredible moment. But that doesn't change the fact that this is probably one of the most harrowing moments they've ever had in this game. My stomach is churning.
Please, you have to win this. My baby is only a few days old.
Like,
it's unfair to put this on the Academy members.
please, keep fighting. You have to win.
It's brutal. It's so brutal.
Stop it!
Nozomi's voice cut to all the others, echoing throughout the war room. Turn off, just turn off. Yeah, it's brutal. Like, again, this is why I say this game is so well written, by the way. Because every time I do this, I think to myself, man, that was brutal to watch. And then the game goes, yeah, it was. All right. Saray nodded and his eyes flashed red.
No.
The next moment, the monitors all flickered off. This is just too good. It's enough that you kept the truth with them for so long. Now you want them to keep fighting for you? This is yes. Yes. And I think that those screens, while like brutal and hard to listen to because you don't want people to ever hear people suffering, ever hear people scared. You don't want to hear this. But the fact is of the situation now that we have here, what happened there was, that is to me another form of, to me, a manipulation. Right? Do it for them. Look, they all want you to keep fighting, you know? They all want you to keep fighting.
What do those people on the satellite know about sacrifice? About
Yeah.
hardship?
Yeah.
They've pushed it
Yeah.
all onto these guys instead.
I have no problem saying this. As I said, listening to that audio was hard. It was difficult. My stomach was churning and my blood was boiling. Because it was like this manipulative, like really horrible thing for all these characters that have fought for so long to have to hear. And I think just hearing a character say what you're thinking can sometimes like be cathartic, I guess. Oh my god, I've never heard Takumi make that noise. Our mission is cruel and inhumane, I admit it. We're undoubtedly the villains in this war. There you go. No more sugarcoating. But humanity still like wants to just like any other creature. Their first instinct is to survive. This is a psychological thing that people say that humanity tries to survive no matter what. It's my duty to facilitate that, to save as many of them as possible. Even if it means sacrificing us, not to mention all the innocent people on this planet. This planet was leveled. You're right, Nozomi. It's the only way to remake Future, man. Oh my god. Even that phrase is the only way to create the second Earth. That's horrible. This war, this invasion, and your power is our only hope. We have no other choice but to rely on you. So I will ask you once more. Manipulative. So manipulative. I'm not proud of what we've done. The way you treated you is unforgivable. Yes!
Even so,
holy
I ask
hell.
that you save humanity.
This is so bad.
Please, don't turn your backs on
This is
us.
so bad. This is so bad. I feel sick. I get what you're saying, but still. My stomach is bubbling again. Not bubbling, you know what I mean? Like that feeling of like a fire in your stomach. Is humanity even worth saving? Why should we trade the lives of everyone on this planet for their... I never thought I would say this, but I've been saying it a lot lately. Ado has a freaking point. Why is the trade-off important? Is it hard to ignore them now that we've actually seen them, though? And again, I understand we're like 100%. That's why that stuff works. We saw it's horrible. We heard children cry out for help. Can you imagine putting a child in front of a camera and saying, "Ask these people who are fighting for you to keep fighting"? Like, think about that. Either way, we're going to have to keep fighting Veshnis. Well, that's the problem. That's what I said. On one side, Veshnis wants us to keep going. On the other side, the Academy wants us to keep going. In the middle, we can't even die. Unless we go off into away from the Academy at that point. That's the only thing that can happen. Can't you at least call off the final attack? Killing all the Futurists is going too far. It is. Yes.
Yeah.
Remember what Veshnis said? Every last one of them will fight us to the bitter end. So as long as any of them survive, this war will continue. And again, this is the problem, right? It's because that they have 100% have a right to hate the humans. No doubt in my mind, they have a right to hate humanity. No doubt, right? But the reason they hate us as well, and they hate all of humanity, even the people that didn't want this to happen, right? But now they do want it to happen, by the way. Even the people that didn't want this to happen, right? Even the people that saw it as inhumane, is because they have seen their world leveled. If you grow up seeing people destroy your heroes, your world being leveled, children being kidnapped, there's no part in your brain that wouldn't feel the same. That I'm gonna fight back, and every time you do more destruction, you create more people that are gonna come back later and try to fight you. That's what happens. Killer be killed, massacre or face extinction. Death would have been so much easier compared to living with these choices. It's one of the most brutal things that like I've seen a game do ever. It's one of the most brutal, manipulative, horrible, inhumane like situations I've ever seen on like any characters. And like I'm glad they acknowledge it, but it's brutal. If we are going to keep fighting, there's something else I need to know. What happens to Shion? There's an escape pod to take us all back to the satellite on day 100, but not for Shion, right? He has to stay here. He has no power. He has to power the final assault. I love Shion to death, by the way, and that's why I don't want to interrupt this. So I'm going to say my point about this before we go any further, because I don't want to interrupt Shion's moments or whatever, because I love him dearly, right? But also, we know about that walkie-talkie situation. You know what I mean? And also, we know that the idea that like our family doesn't exist and all this stuff, so our family was never on the satellite and stuff as well. But we know that at the end of the first run, the characters came back with a walkie-talkie and said, or sent back a walkie-talkie to say, Takumi, something's horrible is happening up there. So whilst like they're saying like all these characters, like there's a disconnect there, which means there's probably another mystery to this as well. Yes, all these characters are facing forward and stuff like this as well, and like they're like, you know, we have all these people doing this like this video for us as well. It's like, oh, they're all want us to fight, but it's like, what was the thing that happened on the satellite that Takamaru was talking to the walkie-talkie about? Something must have happened. Yeah, I just didn't want to interrupt Shion's moment with my thoughts. You okay? Oh, that's such a stupid question. Right now, something's wrong. I can't keep my body. Oh, he's fading a bit, right? He looks a bit faded, right? Shion began to fade away. I had trouble looking at his face the whole time. Wait, what? What? He vanished, Shion. What gives? What did you do to him? I don't know. This has never happened before. I guess because he's never had to deal with such confusing feelings. This could have an adverse effect of the final assault. I should go check on him. That's all he's thinking about. Let's call it a day here, everyone. We'll pick up the discussion in the defense room tomorrow. It'll be easier for Shion to join in that way. With those last few parting words, Saray hurried away, leaving us standing there alone. Pick up the discussion. Is there anything left for us to discuss? Perhaps he's expecting a different answer on what we plan to do from here on. Whether we carry on or decide to quit, it's still going to be a living hell for all of us. Damn it, what are we supposed to do? All the stress is going to wreak havoc on my skin. I think it's best if we take a break now. I'm pretty tired. This is my first battle in quite a while. Whatever, just make sure you go back to your cage. Yuma, can I sleep in your... Oh, Kako. Of course, I was just about to suggest that myself. I don't think it's a terrible idea for people not to be alone. Let's rest up and talk more tomorrow. This was one of the most brutal things they've ever done. And they've done a lot of brutal things, but that video message was so horrible. Was so horrific what they did there. And I want to make it clear as well, those people who did that video, terrified they are. They're terrified as well. But what Nozomi said is true. They're putting all of that on people that they've never met before. Please fight for us. Getting children to freaking do a video and asking them, that's horrible. Say into the camera how you want, how you feel about them fighting for you. Please fight for me. You know, like that's horrible. That's so manipulative. That's horrific. Holy crap, man. Exhausted from the day's activities, we left for the war and went back to our rooms. And again, this game is so... it doesn't shy away from the fact that it is manipulative, and it is brutal, and it is, like, horrible. Because you literally had Nozomi right after saying exactly what I was thinking. These people don't know anything about war, or fighting, or battling, and they're putting that on us. And so, for the second time, my 72nd day at the Last Defense Academy drew to a close. Day 73. Nozomi literally stopped me from bursting there at one point. I was literally like, as the video was happening, I was like, this is horrible, this is so horrific. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my god, I'm boiling, I'm bubbling, I'm about to like. And then Nozomi says something, and it almost felt like Nozomi put her hand on my shoulder at the moment and said, hey, I got this. It was dark outside when I woke up, and I barely slept a wink at all night. Hope you can't hear the garbage truck, by the way, but they need to do their job, and they're doing a good job, so I don't want to like... I'm never going to complain about them. They're doing a good job. Dawn was still a ways off, but I knew I wouldn't be falling asleep again anytime soon. Now that I was awake, I didn't feel much like sitting around in my room. I decided to get some fresh air and stepped outside. We're 27 days left. This angle. We've seen this before. The sky was always darkest before the dawn. Had I had hearts somewhere, or was it something I'd noticed since I got here? The way the sky looked at that moment was a perfect mirror of my mood. Oh. And even darker against the sky, a familiar shape was orbiting the planet. That's what I'm saying. Like, all this time, the Futurims had to look up at this satellite as a symbol of their oppression.
It's hard to believe. The last vestiges of humanity are all up there.
And Nozomi showing up in this moment too. You couldn't sleep either? Oh Jesus! Imagine trying. I couldn't. I'd be so done. No, same for you, Nozomi. Yeah, there's just so much to think about. There is. I wonder what the real Earth was like back when humanity still lived on its surface. I'm not sure. They told us that Earth had a will of its own, and that it chose death when humanity's abuse came too much. And that's what's crazy as well. 2 planets rejected humanity, and now they want to go to another one. They're gonna get rejected again. You know what I mean? World death is going to come for them again, right? I guess maybe it's only world death on Earth, but you know what I mean? Like, imagine getting kicked off one of your planets and then trying to take someone else's. I wonder if this planet has its own consciousness too. That's what I'm saying. What if, like, is humanity just, if they take over this planet, just going to have another world death? It wouldn't be all that strange if it did, I guess. There's a chance humanity might make the same mistake here then. Yeah. They will. They will. They will come here. They will damage the environment. They will fight each other. They will kill each other. They will still make all the same mistakes. Our selfishness could lead to this planet's destruction just like it did for Earth. Yes. But I would argue that once all the natives are gone and this place is destroyed and taken over, it is destroyed. It's now it's just a husk where invaders live. That's what it is. That's what I would say. I don't think you guys need to fight for humanity's sake anymore. All I want is for you to live for yourselves and for you to be happy. And I love Nozomi for this. I love Nozomi for this. I love her for this. Live for ourselves is a nice idea, but I barely know what kind of life I can expect to live anymore. How about you, Nozomi? Are you going to keep fighting to protect humanity? Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do. I only know that I don't want all of you to have to bear that burden. And I feel this from Nozomi. Just as long as you don't try to fight on your own again, I want you to be happy too, you know? Takumi. Oh, look, the sky's starting to get brighter. I followed Nozomi's gaze up to the pale light that had started to spill over the horizon.
What a lovely sunrise.
Oh my god, don't tell me Nozomi and Takumi are going to watch a sunrise together. Are you kidding me? Look at this image. It's gorgeous. By the way, I never, like, whenever people used to say to me as a kid, like, oh, watching the sunrise, I see the movies, watching the sunrise, I used to be like, oh my god, that's like that sounds so cheesy. And, you know, as a kid, I was like, why would I care about that? I just want to play toys. Then I remember, like, I was at, like, a party that, like, lasted all night one time, and it was actually facing the rising sun. And, you know, when after a party, like, and again, I, like, you know, everyone's been drinking and stuff like that as well. I don't drink anymore personally. Not there's anything wrong with it. I just don't. But, like you're sitting down, everyone's a bit cold, everyone's like covering themselves with like jackets and blankets and sitting around together, and like we saw like on the horizon like the sun rising, and I remember like I was young at the time still, and I remember just looking at it, and I became a believer. I was just like, holy hell. And again, it's not just the sunrise. I want to make that clear. Yes, that's beautiful on its own, but it's the people that you're with during the sunrise. There's something about it. And I know maybe sounds pretentious. Maybe you guys agree. There's something so beautiful about it. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that moment for the rest of my life. Just looking at it and being like, oh my God. You know? And like, it feels like everyone is still talking, but everyone's quiet at the same time. It's amazing.
Yeah. This is the first time I've ever seen the sun come up.
Wow. Of course, yeah.
Really? We've been here 70 whole days. And it's more like 170 for you.
Well, technically it's
right?
100, and if you count the other routes as well, it's actually like 230.
But I never thought about getting up to watch
Yeah.
it. I mean, back in the TRC, it just gets light automatically when
Yes,
it's morning.
yes. And not only that, but most humans, I would say, if you talk to them, haven't seen like the sunrise at a young age, at least at Takumi's age. 100% most humans would say, oh, I've never actually seen the sun rise. I know it rises, but like they might lie in bed at some points when the sun is rising behind them or something like that, or the light is coming up, but they don't actually see the sun rising itself.
Although technically, I've never seen that for myself either.
He's like, I didn't even know there was a 6 a.m.
That's how it was for me, too. I think your memories of the complex are pretty accurate to the real thing.
Still though, this is what a real sunrise looks like. No one on the artificial satellite has ever seen anything like this.
It's so beautiful. It makes me want to cry. It feels like such a waste to keep it to ourselves.
Can we get everyone else?
Yeah.
Like, I would love to. That would be such a beautiful moment to gather everyone as well. Nozomi and I stayed there a while longer, watching the sun climb higher and higher in the sky and light up the world around us. Then we headed to the defense room to meet the others. Oh, here we go. Beautiful moment, by the way. Beautiful moment. We watched fireworks together, and now we watched the sunrise. A beautiful moment. Absolutely fantastic. In love. In love with that moment. Everyone was gathered outside the defense room door, like we'd agreed on the day before. Alright, it looks like everyone's here. Now we're just waiting on Sarai. Why are you here too? Get back in your cage. I'll just say this now, right? You guys know us, and you can vouch for me for Gaku, right? My angel Gaku, right? You can vouch for me, right? Everyone in the comment section vouch for me. Gaku, and say and talk directly to Gaku in this sense, right? We're going to have a bit of fun with this, maybe. Gaku, your feelings are valid, but also at the same time, Eito in this situation, in this route at least, is probably one of the biggest victims out of everybody of what the Academy done to people. out of like everybody, like making like, even if it was a mistake, because it could be possibly a mistake, making somebody hate humanity to the point that they would have like a memory of a lifelong hatred for people and their own loved ones. That's brutal. And I would say, regardless of what he did in previous routes, he did horrible things, and I'll never probably get along with him from that sense, right? He is a victim just like we are. You want to sue me for something this important? I have a right to hear this too, you know. I agree. I'm crazy that I didn't think I'd be looking at Eito at my screen and saying I agree. But I agree. I agree to 100%. Everyone's sorry to make you wait. How's Shion? I think he'll be alright, but his brainwaves are looking very irregular. Yesterday's conversation put a lot of stress on him, so some physical, but mostly psychological. Psychological stress. I wonder what Shion is going through right now. It's a law. It's not like before when we could accept his death and an inevitable price to pay for his mission's success. Now he knows where he came from, and he's being used to massacre his own people, yeah? That can't be easier for him to deal with. Let's continue yesterday's discussion. What are we going to do from here on? Is this going to be a choice? Humanity has treated Kako like a weapon, a mere object. I can't say I like the idea of fighting for her sake. If we don't fight, Vicious will kill us all. Can we just run away? There's got to be somewhere on this planet we can settle down. Gaku's idea of like maybe like here actually is interesting, of like creating like a small like tribe or like village or civilization amongst ourselves. The only issue is that I genuinely do think that they would find us eventually. You know what I mean? I do think Vicious will be able to find us. She knows this place better than anyone. And spend the rest of our lives looking over our shoulders? Nah, man, that ain't for me. That's, I think, I don't think it'd be the rest of our lives. I think Veshnis would be able to find us in the space of like 2 days. I really think so. I doubt Veshnis will let us go easily either. She wants our power, and she's not afraid to kill anyone who gets in the way of her goals. That's the thing, yeah. What I'm saying, I think she would find us. So we're back to fighting on being the only way we can survive? But it also means killing all the innocent people on this planet. I don't think I can accept that. Can you accept everyone in the artificial satellite dying instead? It is not. Here's the thing. That's horrible. It's horrible to think of anyone dying. It's horrible to think of like, not like, you know what I mean, not anyone, of course. There's evil people and stuff like that in like, you know, that in this game that we probably would, not in this game, sorry, like in games that I've said before, and you've heard my opinion on that, where I've been like, no, get them rid of them. But like I'm saying that like these people obviously are not, you know, there are people that are obviously going through like a tough situation as well, but that doesn't change the fact that they don't get to put their suffering on other people just so they can survive. Remember all the people we saw in the transmission yesterday? Yes, it was a very, very manipulative situation. If you do save humanity, you'll be heroes. There's no doubt about it. I would not give a damn at this stage. You'll be able to live out the rest of your life, days in happiness. Again, manipulation. You stay out of this. We're trying to think. Love it. Love it. Again, this game is so well written. I'm telling you. Because characters will think, like, again, that's why I think they have opinions for everybody. Characters will literally like say what I'm thinking sometimes, and it's so good in that way. Not that that's good writing about what I'm thinking, but I'm saying like they will have your back and your opinions sometimes. Survival means turning your back on this planet's people and letting them all die. I think I'd rather go back to the satellite right now and massacre humanity myself.
Hey!
What Eito said here is interesting because obviously, like, it's different from, like, trying to find a place to survive, right? 100%. Even though I don't agree with that either. But, like, Eito being like, oh, yeah, I should just slaughter all of humanity, right? It's like, oh, it's like, have you seen this planet? What people have done to Futurum? It's leveled. It's totally leveled. So, if Eito was able to come up with a good enough reason to be like, well, I need a place to stay as well. I know it's different. I know it's different. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just, there's so many different like things that goes on in this. I don't want to have a sacrifice him. He deserves to be happy. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I was so in my own head. If we don't keep fighting, Shion will die once it gets to 100 day. Yeah. He's going to die either way. What do you mean?
Yeah.
When Shion finishes producing enough undying flames on day 100, the school automatically shifts into attack mode. Then the final assault to wipe out the remaining life on this planet will begin. There's only one way to stop it. That's to deactivate the machine on Shion's physical body stored in, which was also keeping him alive. He can't survive outside of it. If that machine didn't constantly absorb his power, he'd be consumed by his own flames. So Shion will die no matter what we do? Oh, he's coming here faded again. Don't worry about me. Shion, did you hear all that? It's alright. I've always known I wasn't going to live for very long. It feels like I've been on borrowed time up until now. That's a terrifying way to live, right? But you guys aren't like me. You can have a future beyond this war. I know what kind of future a bunch of fakes like us can have, and that's the horrible thing that they're thinking about themselves as well, right?
You may not be able to change your past, but what you do from here on is a different matter.
Yeah. Yes.
You can still choose how you want to live. You can still choose to live. That's all I want from you. For you to live. For yourselves.
Oh, man.
And for
Is he
me
just a
too.
perfect character? Like, he was like this last time. He just wanted us to live. He loves us so much that he just genuinely wants us to live for ourselves.
You could consider this
Another last request from Shion. Shion, wait. Tsubasa desperately tried to reach out to Shion, but he was already gone. He doesn't have much time left. The undying flames are eating away at his body little by little. His own power is too much for him. It's too much for any one person to bear, I agree. No. Where does that leave us? Does anyone come up to a decision? Nobody answered. How could we decide what to do in this situation? I think we're going to need more time. We can't just vote on a course of action and call it a day. I agree. I personally, like, you know, my personal choice, and I don't have, like, again, the guide ended where we got all of our information about what this real world was like, right? So obviously I'll probably be making my own decisions from now on. My choice would always be to, like, not slaughter humanity, but, like, you know, that's, or not the Futurums, I mean. We need to think about it and come to a decision that everyone will be satisfied with, including Shion, of course. He'll need to rest up for at least 4 days before he can make another avatar, so we have to do it. So it's gonna be 4 days rest, basically. 4 days of free time, I guess. What you say we talk again in 3 days' time? Okay, 3 days, okay. 3 days as usual. That's okay with me, but if the enemy attacks before then, we'll cross the bridge when we come to it. Or burn it, whatever works. That's one of the best lines that Yugumo's ever said. It's reassuring, like, hey, look, we'll deal with it when it comes, right? But we'll burn it, you know? I see, I guess that's fair. Alright, this should do it for today then. We all headed back to our rooms, each of us struggling with the same dilemma in our own different ways. Yes, 100%. There's a lot of different opinions and different feelings going on. On our 100th day, the school will go into attack mode and begin the final assault. The undying flames will raise every living thing left on the planet, including Shion. But if we try to stop it before then, Shion will still die. It seems like there's just no way for us to save him. What should we do? I couldn't work up the energy to do anything else, so I spent the... Oh, okay, so it's not... Yeah, okay. I thought they were going to do free time. The light faded and the clock ticked interminably forward, leaving me alone with my thoughts. And you guys know my feelings on this. I don't need to, like, reiterate all over and over again, and I won't. I feel like, you know, sometimes I, like, because it's such a big situation, I have no problem, like, you know, I'm a yapper. I have no problem saying that. But I think you guys know my feelings on the situation as is now. I slowly got myself out of bed. I needed to talk to someone. It didn't matter who. I just need to get out of my head for a little while. I guess I head to the cafeteria. There's bound to be someone there. That's such an interesting story beat as well. Having someone having someone just to talk to, right? It didn't matter who. It doesn't matter who. And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's the feeling of, like, anyone can reach out to me. Yeah. If you guys choose to save humanity, you'll be hailed as heroes. This is what, again, Saray, you're going to have to stop laying it on so thick. I guarantee you'll be able to live the rest of your lives in complete happiness. I know Shion's fate doesn't sit right with you. Whatever you do, you won't be able to live much longer anyway. The reason, like, it's not, again, this is why this game is so good at writing, I think, to me. And even like this, we come out of our bedroom, and Saray's waiting right outside the bedroom. That's not coincidental. Saray is 100% trying to still influence our decisions. Who's in the cafeteria, I wonder? Honestly, like, 3 of my most favorite characters. Like, I feel like this was... imagine if it was like, it wasn't randomized or something, and, like, it actually was like, hey, Calvin, here you go. But then, of course, probably Gaku would be there as well, right? And, you know... But yeah, you know what I mean. It's three characters I adore greatly, and 3 characters I would take a bullet for, honestly. Unsurprisingly, the mood in the cafeteria was somber. It was almost completely deserted. If nobody else is coming today, and what Takabi's saying is so true, by the way. Whenever I have, like, high anxiety about something, or, like, I know it's not the same thing at all, but, like, even, like, I would, like, go for coffee or tea with someone, and we'd sit down and we'd chat about anything. We'd just be like, oh, did you see the new season of this show or whatever? You don't even have to talk about your anxieties all the time. And it makes you feel better for a while, right? It doesn't fix the issue, but it makes you feel like good for a bit, you know? Some of them came by earlier, but they took the food back to the rooms. It was pretty obvious they wanted to be alone. Understandable. Should we be more open to discuss things more? I mean, we're basically family. Oh, Kako. That's the worst thing about the situation. How can it possibly be related to that ragtag collection of freaks and misfits? Ema, I'm going to say something right now. I love you. You have the best hair in the game. You're a fabulous person, right? You know? You're adorable in many times too. You're delightfully snarky. Everyone here, including yourself, is a ragtag freak. Everyone, including yourself. I'm pretty sure they feel the same about you. Yes, everyone here is a ragtag weirdo. And I mean that endearingly. And I just came up with a new dish too. I added pastel pink paint to a hot pot to make it pretty. Honestly, you know, sounds amazing, Kako. You're not even using edible ingredients anymore. Let her be. Let her be, okay? Let her do what she wants. Kako, you keep doing that, okay? Feed it to Saray. This time we're all having to say what we do. We're not just pushing the direction onto Takumi. True, didn't even think of it like that. Like we have in the past. I think everyone's going to need some time to come to terms with that and what it means for them. I wish there was a way for us to resolve this without fighting. Agreed.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen while Veshis is around. Or even without her, for that matter. The futures all hate us vile invaders after all. It's only natural after what humanity has done to their home. Agreed. Ema's like saying stuff truthfully over and over again. I think we just have to keep fighting until one side is finally wiped out. And I don't, again, this is horrible. It's our actions have led to a situation like this. Not our actions, the actions of humanity. It's a tough decision. I'm still any closer to an answer myself. Spend the whole day thinking, spend all the time. Even if my clairvoyance won't help us here, it's okay, Kako. Come to think of it, it's the same with me. I can barely get my thoughts together. In all the confusion from the big revelations, I've kind of lost sight of myself. We stayed in the cafeteria long enough to eat breakfast, then went back to room. Someone in the comment section pointed out that at the start of the game, we asked ourselves in the mirror, were we truly ourselves? It's because it's actually like the first time we probably looked at ourselves in the mirror, ever. We're probably doing free time, right? Everything's going to spend the day on their own to think about stuff. Should probably do the same, but I don't feel like just sitting around today. At that point, I'll even talk to Saray. Maybe I'll go take a walk. So I don't know how many characters will be available for free time. We can keep going with like our gift giving and stuff like that. I don't know how many. Wait, Saray, what?
Yeah?
I won't withhold the truth from you anymore. Ask me anything you want to know. Wait, what? Wait, what? About the school? Wait, what? Aspel Last Defense Academy? Oh my god, it's a lore drop. Aspel Last Defense Academy. Last Defense Academy is a spaceship created for this mission. It also serves as a weapon that will eliminate a life in the future when time comes. You deploy it from the artificial satellite with Shion and 15 of you on board. After you land, Shion surrounded by the undying flames to protect him while he's building enough power to wipe it. So yeah, there's some stuff we're gonna know. He always wanted an experience to go into school. That's why he made it look like the way it does. So if we go back into oh sorry, that's not the first choice. The undying flames. I think it's reiterating. It's kind of like to remind us of stuff we already know, right? The undying flames extend around the school grounds and surrounding ruins a radius of 1,600 feet. They're over 300 feet thick and can extend upwards almost infinitely. If the flames sense something trying to pass over it, they'll form a fiery hand and drag the intruder back down again. As defensive barriers go, they're pretty darn hard to penetrate. The flames themselves are produced by Shion. They are his power in its rawest form. However, the enemy has devised the means of getting through. They must be using something similar to their own fire extinguishers. But the fact that they don't attack all at once must mean they can't mass produce these devices yet. So they have to spend time. Special Defense Unit. The Special Defense Unit's mission is to protect the school from invaders for 100 days. It consists of clone soldiers created from the powerful cryptoglobin users' genetic material. In other words, you were all Futurans, albeit artificial ones. You were going in cultivation machines in Kamakura General Hospital up until you reached the age you are now. During that time, you were fed false memories that give you the illusion of a fully lived life. These were deemed necessary to give you the proper motivation to fight and kill on mankind's behalf. And some people were like even describing like the motivations like as well, and there was a comment even talking about how like, you know, these people horribly put this thing in Kako and Ima's head so they would like be dependent on each other, and their abilities are dependent on each other in a way too. Like that's insanely horrific that they would do that, you know? We construct different lives and backstories for each of you, which accounts for how varied your personalities are. Yeah, it's cruel. It's absolute cruelty what you did. Absolute cruelty. This is the main reason we didn't want you contacting the artificial satellite. Also, since your critical was imparted on you artificially, it's a little unstable. That means, like, I'd say that they put, like, that thing in Darumi's freaking head. Like, all that hatred she had and, like, all that bloodlust she had was from the horrible childhood she had as well, and not caring about humanity in that way, too, as well, right? She just wanted to kill things. She had less of a value in life, so they thought, like, someone like this would be perfect for this. Oh my god, I made myself upset again. Also, since your critical was imparted on you artificially, it's still a little unstable. In the end, we developed into the infuser so you can forcibly activate your powers whenever you need them. Ask about something else. So let's ask about... So yeah, it's kind of like reiterating a lot of this stuff too, right? Because I feel like we don't need to, like... Would you guys say we don't need to, like... unless you guys say go back and talk to him, I think like I feel like I know a lot of this stuff here. Would you guys say? I think like we can like let's just like test it here as well, like Hema Anima. It's probably stuff we already know. The power we call Hema Anima actually comes from a substance called critical, but it's a power you inherited from Shion. Your critical was imparted for you artificially, so it's a little unstable. We have to develop infusers to allow you to simulate it. Yes, yeah, we know all this stuff. When simulated, your power manifests itself as your class armor and class weapons. The armor was made to resemble a school uniform in part. That's to fit in with the theme of this place. But mostly it's to clearly distinguish you from the enemy. Unlike them, your power is protecting, preserving humanity and colonizing. Your Hema Anima also means you are revived if you're killed in battle. The corpse still has to be fresh when it goes into Revive-O-Matic though. This is because the revival process works by stimulating your cryptoglobin, which starts to decay and weaken after you die. Naturally, there's no bringing anyone back who's had their critical absorbed and has been blackened as a mummy. Yeah, so what I think we'll ask about now is we'll ask about Earth. And we'll ask about world death, for example, and just get like a little refresher. The human's homeworld possesses its own consciousness. When the planet decided to end its life, numerous natural disasters started occurring all around the world. This phenomenon became known as world death. So yeah, okay, what this is not, it's not just saying, it's not like new information. It's a lot of stuff we already know. That's fine. So if you want a refresher on stuff, we can go back and ask. Pushed to its limit by humanity, abuse of the environment, the planet chose to destroy itself and end its suffering. It became hostile and a hospitable place, and the human population rapidly decreased. The survivors fled to massive underground shelters like the Tokyo residential complex. From then on, they lived beneath the Earth's surface for several generations while they prepared the Exodus project. Yeah, and we know what the Exodus project is as well. I think I want to see, though, about this planet. See if there's anything we can ask about this. Like Futurums. Humanity scientists discovered a planet with an environment much like Earth's in distant galaxy. They named the planet, the name they had before. In many ways, it's like Earth's long-lost sister. It was located in the habitable zone that was allowed for organic life, and the majority of the planet's surface is covered in water. All perfect conditions for supporting life is ideal if it can become second Earth. That is where we are now, Planet Futurum. It turned out there was another intelligent life form not too dissimilar from humans living here, and that was another way this planet was just like Earth. At first, humanity attempted to communicate with them, but in the end, the language barrier led to conflict, and they left, right? Ever since we've been waging war to decide the ultimate fate of Futurum, you've been trying to destroy their planet, leveling it. Yeah, I think it's all information we know. I'm glad this is here because it's a refresher. Because again, this game is long, but I think we have like a good idea of like what's happening there. So what I will do is I'll go to this place and see if we can like maybe give a gift. I'm now changing my plans on how we're gonna give out gifts. I want to maybe give a flower like say max rank Nozomi and Ima. Not that anything wrong with Hiroko, but I think we're closer with Nozomi and Ima to rank 5. So I think we might do that. Because we have limited time. And it's not, again, see what I mean? Like, it's Hiroko's level 3, Ima's close to 5, and Nozomi's close to 5. I don't know if this ends on day 87, 92, or 100. You know what I mean? So I think it's a smart thing to do. So let's get going with that to get the rank 5 for Ima. You know what I mean? I think it just makes sense.
Wow! For me? Yes!
And after we make whatever decision we're going to make, we don't know how this is going to end. You know what I mean? We don't. We just don't know how this is going to end. So I think it's also appropriate to like do this as well. I really do think this is appropriate to do this as well. Okay, let's get another gift for Ima. You guys get what I'm saying, right? It's not like anything against Hiroko. It's just that I don't know how many days we have left. And let's say we do take a break after this and do something else for a bit and then come back to this, which again, I have no problem doing that. If you guys think that's like a thing, because I want to do a Darumi route. I want to do a Darumi route. And like if someone says, hey, like the Darumi route that you could do is like short or whatever, that we could probably do that as well. But the way I see it is kind of like, if that makes sense, I kind of want to be able to do this thing where it's like, we can come back to or do a route at any time. Like, this game isn't done with it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's not a terrible way to play.
Wow! For me? Yes! Thank you!
At ease, soldiers. It's time to hit the hay. You never know when the invaders might attack, so rest up while you still can. Well then.
So, this is going to end the video here. It's a little bit shorter one, but obviously we've had like a lot longer Last Defense Academy episodes in the past while as well. Just to like talk about like, I guess, what we saw in this episode, I think that this was one of the most brutal episodes that we've ever had in this game. And that's, again, as I said, I always say that says a lot. And for Last Defense Academy, it does say a lot. This is like a situation where like constantly there's like so many beautiful moments, there's so many brutal and harrowing and horrible moments as well. And that video messaging thing that they had there was, again, an impressive feat of writing, because it falls in line with, I feel like, a lot of, like, to me, a very manipulative way of doing things. And I'm also just very impressed with the game once again, that like my blood was boiling. I was ready to go on a big rant. I was ready to just be like, I was like, I'm gonna let this go through because I don't want to interrupt these, like, you know, because like we treat these characters like they're real. So obviously when a children is crying to be saved, I'm not gonna be like, let me do my thing now. You know, it's like, no, it's horrible. It makes you feel horrible. It feels awful. But like what happened in this situation as well is that, like, I looked at this and like, my blood was boiling and I was ready to say all the things that, I was ready to say a bunch of stuff of how like this is manipulative, how like it's like you go and fight the war, then you're expecting all these characters to fight the war, to fight the invasion, like the manipulation of it, the you know, because that's what it is. It's like putting a child in front of a camera and saying, tell all these people who are fighting for you how hard it's been and how much you wanted to fight. That is horrific. I want you to fight the war and protect my mommy and daddy. Please, I have a 1-year-old child. Like, that's horrible to hear. Because it is horrible. They're in a situation where they are terrified as well. You mean we're all going to die if they don't win? We're all going to die if they don't win? You mean my little baby who's just born is going to die? You mean my wife, my husband, my partner, my cousin? Everyone's going to die if they don't win this battle? Of course, in people's minds, of course you're like, I'm trying to act like, you know, like I'm not trying to act like I'm saying that like I'm better than these people. I hope it doesn't come across like that. But like we said, if you asked them in 2 weeks' time after they thought about this, would they all feel the same way? Or if you told them obviously he said he told them what they had to do in Suffix as well. I think, this is a horrible thing to say, right? If they saw, not just heard about it, if they saw what happened to Darumi, if they saw what Kyoshika did, if they saw the horrific thing that happened to Ava in the previous episodes, if they saw the stuff that happened to Kadawa, if they saw all of that, would they still be like, oh yeah, some of them would still be like, yes, thank you, keep fighting. That's just my thought process on this. Is that I'm not trying to act better than those characters. They're terrified, right? They are terrified, right? But it was a very, like, to me, like another very manipulative thing, putting a baby in front of the screen and being like, oh, please fight for me. You know, like that's like that plays with your emotions. And what I'm glad about that is that when I was about to bubble up and like and go on for 20 minutes and probably like, you know, we wouldn't even be here at this point. I'd still be back at that point, probably still like going mad. Nozomi said the truth, which is like, now you're putting this all on them again after all of this stuff. Turn it off. And she even said to those people on the camera, it's like, hey, you know nothing about what these characters are going through. You know nothing about what we're going through. And now there's a decision being made of will they keep fighting or will they stop? My thought process in this situation is it's so difficult, right? Because I love these characters so much and I want them to survive. Vashnis is evil and she wants all her people to still suffer. She wants us to suffer. There's so much going on here in this situation. But the fact of all this matter is that whatever decision these characters make, they have to understand that when when Saray says our humanity will be destroyed and we'll find a new home, that is saying that they believe that their humanity is more important than the people of Future. That's what it is. And I love as well that Ima called out the sugarcoating, because that's what it was. It's an intentional thing from Saray, this noble way of speaking. And Ima goes, why are you acting like this is like some noble pursuit? Why are you acting as if this is like some like a heroic thing? We have been out in that city. It is leveled, uninhabitable in some cases. It is destroyed. And I'm glad that characters did call out Saray in those moments. I think it's also like very, very accurate what they have here, where they have a bunch of characters all having different takes and different feelings. I want to fight. Oh, we should keep fighting. Oh, we shouldn't keep fighting. Wouldn't it be just immoral to just go out and just like die somewhere? Should we just run away? Like all this stuff. Because again, it's a grounded situation where all these characters have their own feelings and have their own thought process on this. That's realism. That's a good thing. It's not a good thing what's happening, but it's a good thing that all these characters have their own opinions. Because in a story like this, the worst thing you could do is have every character at the start, right? Obviously, eventually you can become united under one opinion, but like having all the characters be like, yes, we'll stop fighting, or having every character be like, we'll keep fighting, and having every character just be like, let's just all lie down. While it's like, yes, you could agree with all the characters then 100%, but I'm talking about in terms of writing, it's a very realistic thing to have like some characters have one take and have other characters have another take. It's very realistic. What do you, again, it's one of those things where like, personally, I don't think I'd want it to happen. And I don't want to ever make it sound like I'm being horrible, as I said, towards the people on planet Earth right now, right? My decision, my thought process will always be the same: is that their survival is not important than the people, more important than the people of Futurum, and they're not more worthy of the planet than the people of Futurum. They don't deserve it. But obviously, I know they're terrified, and I know that they've also been like told a bunch of stuff about what's happening, and they're probably scared shitless as well. And I think what like this game has done so well is like making me feel sick constantly, but also just like having like this terrifying aspect always like bubbling up from the surface in this game. There's always a moment where it's like, okay, what's gonna happen next? What are they gonna do next? It's done incredibly well, and it's almost awful that it's done so well. it's like I hate that this game is so good at showing a brutal story. It's so impressive as the way they're able to do this. And again, I'll say to end off, like I've said a million times, this game does not shy away from letting you call some of its characters wrong. A worse game would have the characters all be like, Saray's right away. Saray's so correct in this moment, you know? Or, wow, that makes sense. We gotta fight, you know? Instead, they had a moment where like everyone not only takes time to think about it, but everyone tells Saray to shut up. Everyone tells Saray to not give his input anymore. Yeah, that moment was, I think, the hardest part I've ever had to sit through, that video call. Because while it's like this amazing moment, it's like, oh, they can contact him, which, by the way, it's another lie. They can contact the people of on the satellite. You know, that's another lie. But like, it's an amazing moment because it's like, oh my god, like seeing other people other than our own characters is insane. It's like, even if they're silhouettes. But it was just really hard to sit through. It was really hard to sit through because obviously I don't want to hear a baby crying how they want to be saved. I don't want to have like someone talk about how their child is 1 year old. Or talk about how they're terrified they are. Obviously you don't want to hear that. It's horrible. But yeah, it's we'll see what's gonna happen next with this route. I don't know if it's gonna be a choice that way I actually have to make, but like I think now we've gone to the point where like it's probably like apparent we could probably make a choice and then go back and do the other choices as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thanks so much for supporting this series. I want people to know as well, I know people have like you know, a lot to like maybe like say about my takes as well. I think it's always important to know that like for me like I've been doing YouTube for a while now, and like while like I am, you know, I think I'm a very like emotional person, you know, and I think even in the past in other series like I was always like you know, even when I started like years and years ago, I would see like, you know, sometimes people like giving their takes as like them denouncing my takes, but I think like over time I know, and hopefully people get that where it's like I, you know, Thank you to Ty for R2, JB Bull, Johnny Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicius Felix, Yule, Radish Adusta, Death Trap, Links Markey, The Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Casparian, Jared Beaner. I'm at the highest tier of my YouTube, Rollgrim 7 and Blasco. And I'll see you all so soon. Bye bye.